Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. And I got a little ASMR for you guys. Oh, is that not the best sound in the whole entire world?
Mango chainsaw?
I know. I'm drinking a liquid death and mango chainsaw naturally flavored sparkling water.
Wow. I give them props that they kind of popped off
I
fast.
Love them. Like their sparkling water, mineral water, regular water is great. It's going to sound like an ad deal, but they're flavored waters are so good. But we don't have the flavored waters in Canada. Oh. So I was I'm down in the States. I'm you bet your ass I'm getting me one of
how
these.
edgy they look.
Right? It looks like you're drinking a beer.
I was going to say, for my pregnant friends, they love liquid death.
Yeah.
Kayla says she always gets them, so she looks like she's having a cold one with the boys. She also just doesn't like to drink, period. So I think, pregnant or not, the girl would get a liquid death for herself. But yeah, anyways, that was not a sponsorship, but cheers.
Cheers. Please sponsor me. I've hit them up. I haven't
sponsor
hit them up.
us. We are a team.
True.
It's a relationship. It's us, not me.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Us child.
But in my defense, I've posted them on Instagram, and I just get they've tagged them. I just get the double like. They know I exist, but no love back. Just a thank you.
Did you tag them in this one? Did you take your aesthetic photo?
I shall.
Yeah.
I love me an aesthetic drink photo.
Honestly, I crave your stories after the weekend because it looks so calming and peaceful on Pinterest.
Thank you.
You would love Eliminate, the app that you don't have in Canada.
I think I need another app.
No, for real. I started it. I'm doing a run challenge on it with girls, which I think is fun.
Oh, that is fun.
And it's cool because you get to meet these new girls I've never...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't like Instagram. They like Lemonade. But I was posting once a day, and now it's kind of a runner's thing. And so all these girls, they basically made Lemonade running group.
Yeah.
And they joined, and we kind of just make goals. But because I haven't been running lately, I haven't posted on it. I don't want to lie if I'm not running.
Oh, yeah. No, don't do that.
So I'm mostly being this is what I like when I run. One was why do I run? And I was to run away from creepy men.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Best benefit of getting good at running. Safety.
Yes. Why I run is not actually physique or endurance. It's to run away from creepy men.
It's when you leave the bar at 2 a.m. and you get that spidey sense, run home.
I want to feel like I can outrun somebody.
As much as I'm obviously don't put yourself in dangerous situations. That is one perk that I always have in the back of my mind. I was no one's going to expect how fast I run. Mm-hmm. And they see this ditzy blonde and doo-doo-doo. I'm I'm faster than you.
You're I've been running for a year.
Don't worry. I've literally fall behind real fast.
Yeah. Or you could outrun them. Maybe you aren't as fast. I'm a slowpoke, but I will outrun you.
I'm the opposite. I'm fast. I'm not. Oh. Yeah. That's my in terms of if we had superpowers and it was strength, speed, endurance, all that, mine's pure speed.
Wow.
That's why I was good at basketball. I was just faster than everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say invisibility or read minds, but I don't think I want that.
Oh, God, no. I don't know. Why would you want that?
To scam people, which I was also that was my mom was how do I make the most money? And I was you can break into banks and all that for read minds. And I was that's an awful way to live. I take that back.
Speaking of scam, guys, I'm trying to buy some Taylor Swift tickets for Keltie and I, and I'm nervous. I'm getting scammed on Facebook, and I can't turn to Michael because that man gets scammed left and right. Oh my God, the amount of scams I have been with in that man. And I'm
really?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
Michael loves sales, big entrepreneur, right? He believes in karma, and he believes in attracting what you want.
Yeah.
So for him, he's such an easy sell because he wants people to believe in him and be an easy sell.
No.
So he just literally, you could sell him anything and he would buy it. And it's me, the big bad wolf, that's no, this is a bad deal. And he's really? And I'm he can't do anything without me there because he will lose. He will buy. And so this was way before he even, we were really young. We had no money. And he was he wasn't working a job. He was trying to do a business that was failing at the time. This is we're 20 or something. And he finds a personal assistant job virtually. And he got scammed and they took money from him. Wow. He thought he was going to get paid. It was horrible.
Poor guy.
Well, poor man. I'm just exposing. He would say though, he is an easy sell. And so when I was texting him being should I do this? He was sounds like a good deal. Yeah. And I'm oh. He's well, just have her send the receipt. I'm there's such thing as Photoshop, you idiot. Oh my God. So I'm not going to consult him on that.
Well, I think he would love this episode because speaking of good deal, that's the theme of this entire episode. Because guess what? We're in a recession. Are we? I don't know. Every day, I remember I was talking to Megs yesterday. I was like, yeah, I heard on the podcast the recession's coming. And he's like, yeah, aren't we in one? I was like, I don't know. Are we? Regardless, money's tight.
I think we are.
I think we're in denial.
I think I heard it was supposed to happen February. It's way past February.
I just feel everyone's broke. Or everything's expensive.
Everything's inflamed. Yeah, no, so absolutely.
Like, if this isn't a recession, I don't want to know what is.
I mean, how old were we when the recent recession happened?
Oh,
other than there was COVID, which was a little dip, but they didn't say it was a proper recession because it boomed back up. But what was it? 08?
Yeah,
or
08 was the housing crisis.
Okay,
that was the one that traumatized.
Because that's the thing. I'm like, maybe because we're so young, we don't know what it is. So we're like, huh? Because when we were young, I didn't understand it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of similar, but I feel we're like, we haven't hit my, not financial advice because I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I feel like we're on the brink. Like that's when, if we have a housing crisis on top, then we're really screwed. Do you know what I mean? At least like our housing's okay, because I think that's what really screwed everyone in 08, everyone's housing.
Wait, okay, but like, how? At least last year, housing was absurd, and it's finally gone down.
Yeah, but this was like when people were like getting evicted from their homes and all that. Like, oh wait, like people's like couldn't suddenly afford. Like right now, it's like houses is getting expensive. People can't get a good deal. But that was like people couldn't afford their mortgage
because there was a layoff and everything. Yeah,
and it was people. No, the banks had just overpromised people mortgages. Once again, this is not perfectly, but the summary is like people couldn't afford their mortgages and stuff like that, and like. So then that's when chaos happens.
Yeah.
So, but that's not happening. Just things are expensive.
Things are expensive, so we thought we'd do this video.
Yeah.
Also, we may sound ignorant as AF because we don't work in the corporate world.
Yes.
I feel like my friends that do, they always inform me more of like what they're seeing. My friend is a recruiter, and so she'll kind of like give me her 2 cents on what she thinks. And recruiters, really see a lot of it because they're either like hiring out the ass because there's not enough people, or like right now it's slow because nobody can really afford to hire a third party to bring somebody on, right? So
I guess my take is like all my girlfriends who are just regular corporate girlies make the same amount. Suddenly they're just like, I don't have as much money because things are costing more. So I think our disposable income's going all over the place. People are also just scared, so they're like, should I spend on frivolous things? And that there's just a lot of fear about money right now. There's a lot of credit card debt.
I remember Gary Vee actually sent me this thing that was like, why you shouldn't buy a house right now. And it was literally as we were buying the house. But like we had already purchased this house like 6 months prior. Yeah. And we would have lost everything in that down payment that we were like, we're sending it. We have to buy this house. But I was like, actually, don't send me this. And this was like October when I purchased the house. She was like, just so you know. And I'm like, oh my God. And Gary Vee's like, keep your money. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Gary Vee's caused me too much trauma.
Yeah, so I can't look at him.
He caused me not to sleep for 6 years, so no more Gary Vee advice.
No, never.
But moral story, today we're just talking some hacks because what health is wealth is the theme of the episode. So ways you can get some good workouts in without spending big bucks. You want to hit us with number one?
Number one is like think about Facebook groups and do this in like a safe way, obviously, okay? But I'll give an example recently of I'm part of like a women's group in Puerto Rico in my community, and this woman is a yoga instructor, and she posted saying like, hey, I'm having this spring deal. It was fantastic. It was 100 for like 3 months or something, and she does group training classes at her own studio or she just does them at Sunset. I have yet to sign up. I messaged her, and then I've just been traveling, so I haven't been able to. But I liked that because I would have probably gone to a studio if I wanted to do yoga, and like it's what, $20 a class or whatever, where she had like 3 months, say for 100. I'm like, that is a fantastic deal. She was trying to get more clients, more word of mouth, and also because her house is her studio, she didn't have that overhead cost, or just doing it on the beach. Yeah. So if you can like look at Facebook groups, when I lived in Huntington, there was 1,000 of those where it was yoga instructors trying to get their hours. It'd be sunset yoga, and it's just like $10, whatever it may be. So you help them out, they help you out.
I love that. Actually, I'm going to cater off another idea with the Facebook group, running clubs. I know, like, my friend Veronica, she hosts, it's called, like, Monday Run Club in Vancouver. And every Monday they all get together, meet on the seat wall, and run, like, 5K. And it's got a massive, there's, like, 30 or 40 of them. It's free of charge. They usually grab a beer after. But it's just a great way to, like, have that, you know, accountability, have people to run. Usually it's a lot of, like, experts, like, you know, people who love running, they just want to do it. So if you just want to learn some tips, so the Facebook running groups. Yeah. We're just also going to lean off that.
My mom does that. Every Sunday at 7 a.m. She goes, I should ask. I think it's Tacoma Run Club. If anybody lives in Washington and you want to go meet my mom, she's there almost every Sunday. And they run, I think, 3 miles and then they grab coffee.
That's stunning. Okay, here's the Facebook groups. So number 2, ClassPass. If you haven't heard, it's an app. You sign up and you usually get like discounted fitness classes. So you buy like credits for the month. So you can buy 20, 40, however many credits, and each class is a couple credits, and it usually works out to be a lot cheaper for the class. You don't get as much times. Like, I know Jaybird, for example, is one of my favorite classes in Vancouver, and you can get it on ClassPass. So it is a lot cheaper. But yeah, like the Saturday 10 a.m. booty camp that everyone wants to get into, you're not going to get into. But it's a nice way to, like, especially like me and my girlfriends, we don't all have the exact same taste in fitness. So not all of us like want a 10-pack berries boot camp and we don't want to constantly be buying $40 classes. So if we all buy a ClassPass, we can be like, this week let's do yoga, next week let's do spin, and you're not as committed to like, I'm just doing yoga for 30 days. So that's a nice little bonus.
I will say though, when I lived in New York, I would do ClassPass, and it's once you're through your credits, it's really hard to get the good deals again. They make it like that, so you spend a lot more money, and that's the one thing I'll say is like, be wary of like where you're gonna allocate your credit to. Because once it's done and you buy that like month pass, it costs like triple the price usually just to get the same amount of credits.
True. Yeah, it's very much like a couple class a month with your friends thing. It's not like that should be your sole way to get fitness classes. So I feel the same, like your money doesn't go far.
Okay, next one.
It was. So I'm just going to take this one. We did it out of order, so it's going to be sporadic. But that next one, speaking of which though, intro classes. So this is a little scammy, but I was like, you know what? We've all been there. Times are tough. So especially when I was in college, say you want to do Pilates. There's usually places will give you like first class free, week free, and you just work your way through it. And you know what I mean? Test it out, and you're like, hey, go to the week there. Next week, try the other one. It's like your way through. And then hopefully one day you have money and go back to the place that gave you the best experience. Because they are small business owners too. Like especially, so I'm like, scam a bit more of the Orange Theories and the F45s of the world, or the places that aren't owned by like individual. Actually, F45s might be owned by the franchise. But I mean, like, scam the bigger places, less of the mom and pop shops. But you can get by quite far with free classes.
I will also say mom and pop shops are usually cheaper than the competitors. I remember in Huntington, I went to something, I can't remember the name of it, but it was unlimited, $100 a month, had a boot camp location, a yoga location, and a spin location, and it was unlimited. So you could do spin and yoga the same day. You could do whatever you want. 3 in one day, if that's what you wanted. Oh, it was called Wellbe. And it was just family owned. I think it was a wife and a husband, and they like hired on their own team, and it was fantastic. It was quiet. It was quaint. It wasn't flashy or anything, but like it was $100 a month. And I got whatever I wanted. Like think berries or F45, spinning Soul Cycle vibes, and then also yoga.
Yeah. Bonus one, mom and pop shops. More bang for your buck. You're not paying for like the brand name. I mean, that's the no name, no frills kind of thing.
Because think of like, well, Soul Cycle is so expensive. The only time I ever go to Soul Cycle is my beginner classes. And that's like, I'll use my email or something. Because it's like, what, 40 or 50? And then you have to buy shoes.
It's crazy expensive.
And it's only 40 minutes long.
And there's so many other like spin classes I've been to. They're just as good, if not better.
Totally, yeah.
YJ Cycle, Ride Cycle in Vancouver and Edmonton. Shout out. Next up, weekend hikes. I know it's so basic, but like we said, it's really fun to, on like a Saturday, Sunday, do something social with your girlfriends. And I feel very blessed. I live in Vancouver and we have a lot of hikes, but it can just be a hot girl walk. But like, all get together and be like, okay, we're going to do 10K. We're going to do 5K. We're going to do this. And if you're girls who are a bit more of like, oh, I want to get a good sweat, like, try and go up as fast as you can, or at the top of the hill, be like, hey, we're gonna do a stretch session at the top of the hill or something. But just like a good old weekend hike is good for the soul.
Yeah, I agree. Being from Seattle, Washington, we used to hike a lot.
Oh, the Pacific Northwest.
Or I live now near the beach, and that's like my love language, is like going for walks with my friends. So like Millie and I do a sunrise walk every Wednesday. My friend Jess and I, she's not a sunrise girly, so we do sunset together. I bring Bentley, and it's just like we do this like 4-mile loop usually.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Next one is be careful the times you sign up. So I think it's kind of obvious, like Black Friday sales and all that, but I find gyms have times of the year where you can get great deals. Like for example, in the summer, July and August, they don't really have, like, gyms die down. Like, a lot of people aren't at the gym, so usually they have great deals. And so that can be a good time to get, like, a cheap gym membership. Like, for example, Equinox, which is the most expensive. You also have to do, like, a drop-in, like, initiation fee, which is, like, $250.
Oh, you can always negotiate that, guys.
Exactly.
That's not real.
But they definitely, certain months of the year, don't have it. And then, yeah, example, and other gym memberships will be, like, half off, 6-month membership only. Read the fine details so you don't get roped into, like, a 3-year. But just keep in mind, summer tends to be the best, I find, for getting like really good deals in gym memberships.
Yeah.
Because
also,
they're desperate.
They're low-key, depending on the gym, willing to negotiate with you. So,
good tip.
Like Equinox, I negotiated when I lived in Miami. I waived the initiation fee, and I said, hey, I may be moving soon. And so they were like, okay, just let us know and we'll get you off. So it's like, but usually it's a lifetime membership. Fine print on that one. You literally are not allowed to cancel. At least this Miami location.
That's Miami, not Canada.
Then maybe it was also New York, because I went to check him out in New York, and he said the same thing to me. So the only way you can cancel is if you don't have an Equinox in a 20-mile radius of wherever you physically live, or if you have a doctor sign a consent form. That's the only way you could cancel Equinox.
So that's how I got on my Toronto one. So I lied and said I was going to move back to Edmonton. So that's how I got outside my idea. But my Vancouver one's month to month now. Like I signed up, and after a year it goes down to month to month.
Oh, so
they might have changed it, but yeah. But at least in Canada.
I think that's repulsive to say that you can't quit the gym.
No.
This is not the Friends episode. So that's where I'm like, okay, like this needs to change. It's such a turnoff to say that. Even if they're like, well, we can think about it, we can negotiate it. It's like, no, I'm not signing my life away. And it's an expensive membership. You should have like the ability to cancel a membership if you're paying that much.
That blows my mind when like you have a premium thing and they make it complicated.
Yeah.
So you pay premium for something to have it easy, simple, understanding.
Yes.
Don't make it complicated and pay money.
Yeah. Like, if anybody lives in New York, Temple, that's where we signed up, and it was like $120 a month, where Equinox was so much more. And the staff was really nice and friendly. They were like, we know you're only here for the summer, so just cancel. Let me know. I'll take care of it. There was no initiation. Oh, maybe there was like $50, $70 initiation fee. And it had a sauna, cold plunge, spa, and locations all over New York. Oh, and it was all brand new. It was wonderful.
For my Vancouver girls, 2 new gyms are opening up. Like to compete, obviously there's like the $20 gyms and that, but like Vancouver doesn't really have anything that competes with Equinox downtown. But Evolve is opening up, and get ready for it. It is the best gym I've ever been to. It's from Edmonton. It's Edmonton Business, and they're expanding out to Vancouver. It's affordable. It's under $100 a month, and it's like it's massive. They have state-of-the-art everything. It's the best personal trainers. They have a cold plunge, hot plunge. Those thermos. It's like the best atmosphere of a gym. It's like everyone's in there to work out, but it's friendly and nice. And it was like $75 a month. Wow. And the most awesome gym ever. I missed it to this day, and so it's opening up in Vancouver. So keep your eyes open. Wild. Hold out. Don't sign up for Equinox. Yeah. Hold out for Evolve.
Also, we stayed at the Equinox Hotel when we were wonderful. It was literally the coolest thing ever. And Michael had done it with points for his credit card. And so they treated us even better. It was like some weird deal they had. Yeah. So we got upgraded. We got free breakfast every morning at their restaurant. And we got like a voucher to get drinks every night. Yeah. And I was like, this is amazing. And you get access to the Equinox. And it's a flagship location. And like a lot of Equinoxes, you have to pay extra to be even able to go to these locations, which is also something you should look at. So when you travel, you're still spending more money if you want access to all of them. And so I'd never been into that. And it was so aesthetically beautiful. but like so crowded, like insanely crowded that I was like, it was kind of hard to work out. And it was like very A-lister. So there was like professional basketball players when I was there. Yeah. So like they were kind of hogging everything and everyone's like gawking at them. And my friend Sam was with me and she loves basketball. And she was like, oh, I don't know their team, but it's the team here, staying here. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. But at the same time, if I'm at a gym, it just depends what you like. Yeah. Like that, I'm like, I would rather just work out. I also like to film. I can't really film there. I feel a little uncomfortable about it. But I did meet one of the really nice workers, and he was like kind of explaining me the lowdown of the flag staff, like Equinox and everything, and who goes, like all these famous celebrities go, and I'm like, what? I don't think I would. If I was a celebrity, I don't think I'd work out in Equinox. I'd get my own gym.
I feel that's where, not all of them, but most of like the famous people in Vancouver work out at.
Really?
Yeah, I've got some stories. I don't know if I want to expose.
Oh, well, I just exposed, I felt like.
Some tea. But I was like, I don't know if I feel like Equinox in Vancouver is not that exclusive. So I was like, I don't know if it's just like people don't realize it. Like the New York one's exclusive, the Vancouver one's just like a little bit of a premium price. So I'm just like, I don't know.
It was maybe someone really, really famous would go to this, and they told me this, and I cannot remember who it was. No, that just goes me and celebrities. But like, even the basketball, I was like, they're tall. And Sam's like, they're the professional basketball team. Like, don't you see their shirts? And I'm like, no. Move.
I love it. Actually, but I'm going to skip one and just mention, because it made me think of it, and we'll go back to it. But what you were talking about, Michael, and getting points for Equinox, also something to look into is credit cards. Some of them, especially if you have one of those not nice credit cards, just those credit cards with a lot of benefits, you can get gym memberships and stuff like that, or you can get write-offs, because like some like Equinox and like American Express have like a good relationship, and there's just stuff like that you can get like a good deal on a gym membership if you call your credit card company, and they'll be like, oh yeah, we have like 20% off LA Fitness. Yeah. And then another thing is, if you look into your business, so if you work for a corporation, a lot have it in their insurance, in their health benefits. You can do it as a write-off. You can get it in your spending. Like I know a lot of friends who get free gym memberships because their business pays for it. It's just like, instead of, you get like whatever, a couple $100s a year for health or medicine or whatever, you can use it towards a gym membership. So look into that, into the business you work for.
Or your insurance.
Yeah. You can get a free one.
Weirdly, a girl that was in my program, her insurance paid for my fitness program.
Yeah, that can also, you can get personal trainers. Yeah. You just have the personal trainer, at least in Canada, as long as they're certified.
Yeah, I just proved my certification, sent it over to her. It sent her an invoice. And yeah. And I thought that was so cool. I was like, wow.
Just make your boss pay for it. Another one that was also, I was like, this isn't really a saving tip, but more of a budgeting tip, is what do you get from your gym membership? So there's some gym memberships that are like $20 to $50. That's very standard. Then there's like the $50 to $150, and then there's the crazy like $150 to $300. And you have to do the math. So for example, I've done a lot of sauna challenges, and that's kind of why I justified Equinox. Is it's got the sauna, it's got the steam room, it's got a lot of other classes I can take. It's got Pilates, it's got yoga, it's got the reformer. So I was like, yeah, it's expensive. But normally, because of my YouTube, I have to also pay for sauna. Not have to, but do these challenges. And then reformer, of course, none of these like have to's. I just have a weird job. And so I was like, honestly, it's cheaper to just have the $200 Equinox membership versus like $100 every sauna, like 3 times a month. And then like I broke it down, and it was actually cheaper to do that. So kind of do the math and actually be realistic if you're going to use it. Because I remember in Toronto, I was like, oh, use all these things. And I never did.
Yeah. So. Exactly. Should we jump into our bonus tips?
I think we should, because we've been to health is wealth.
Yes.
Let's get to, what are some bonus tips for, because we got to save money on fitness, but why don't we save some money on, did I say spend money? Save some money. Yeah, why don't we save some money on fitness? How do we save some money when we're going out drinking? Yes. We're hitting the bar, not the barbells.
We're hitting the bars. For me, do you want to bring yours up or mine first?
You're already talking. Go for it.
Okay. So for me, I like to do like themed things with my friends, or like make it a game, make it fun for everybody, where we don't necessarily have to go out to drink. I am like not somebody that likes loud music, or like I socially like going out is not my thing. It's never been. I like house parties, or like not even a house party, house game night or something. Like we're doing, Michael bought the Hot Ones challenge,
fun.
Wings, or like the sauces. So we're gonna make wings, and I'm gonna like do a challenge with our friends. We're gonna have drinks and it's gonna be super fun. It kind of sounds deadly, but it'll be good. Or like make it a theme where you're like, hey, let's do a bachelorette night and everybody bring your favorite bottle of wine. Or, you know, I've seen things on TikTok where it's like theme a drink after your occupation. The nurse brings like fun little things. And it's like, it's cheaper than going out all night. Also, like, you don't have to deal with, like, if the music's too loud or if there's, like, creepos or just weirdos, or you don't have to wait in line. You can just, like, make your own little club in your house with your friends. And I don't know, half the time when you go out, you're just hanging out with your friends. Unless you want to be social or you do like that environment. For me, I'm like, I really like a quiet time. Who is it? I think Millie is the one that has noticed anytime there's loud music, I get really irritated. And I'm like, I'll literally go turn it down or something. She's like, you really don't like loud things. And I'm like, I don't. It like, so funny. It's something that triggers me that I'm like, I can't. I'm done. I gotta go home.
Something I love about you, Me, is there's some things we're like so similar. I think morally, like deep down of like what's important that we are. But there's a few little like just personality traits that are so opposite. And that might be the most opposite. All I crave in life is heavy bass. That's all. That's the only reason I work out, is so I can blast my headphones. I go to Barry's, couldn't care less about the workout. They just blast some heavy house bass. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's my like love language. I only go out because I just want to hear unts, 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 dubstep. I want robots making sex music.
I've like, I don't like clubs. Like, even how I was like, well, what do you do when you go out? And you're like, you know what, club? I'm like, what? Like, you will not catch me at a club unless I'm forced there.
Oh yeah, and I would go dead sober. Like a club, I was like, I just want to sit and be in the music.
Blacked out.
If I'm blacked out, it's just even more fun.
Yeah, but like to tolerate it, I must be drunk.
I've seen Skrillex live sober. Like that says the level of like unts I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if it's a really good song, but I don't know. It's like if I'm trying to talk to somebody, that's when I get a headache and I just get overstimulated. It's like my friend Maddie has the same problem. We joke about it. We're like, I don't know what it is. It's just something that I've always had, that like there's something that triggers my brain that I'm like, I cannot do this. So when we go out to eat, we'll go out like, you know, outside. We live in Puerto Rico, so everything's outside. So it's like you don't really hear a lot of music. It's just like waves and relaxing. But I get there's a time and place. Like if you have a bachelorette party, I will club all day with you.
Oh, thank you.
But I will secretly be like incredibly drunk because
that's fair.
I can't take it.
And I just appreciate anyone that does it, especially because oh my god, I was like, that's what I thought. And also like at those, I'm like, I'm not trying to have a conversation.
Yeah,
also, exactly. I think, and that's
Berries, it makes sense. You're trying to work out,
right? And like, those are one of those things. Say, for example, like if it's a busy nightclub and it's pounding, yeah, of course you go to the person beside you, But like when people are trying to have a deep conversation at the club, I'm like, don't. Yeah. This is so ineffective. Let's talk in the morning. Call me. I was like, let's go over coffee. Let's have, or the before we go out. Like I do love like the hour before. It's like slow, chill music. We're chatting. I was like, we chatted enough. Let's get wild. So yeah, I feel, and if you're like, no, I just want to chat, not a great place to chat.
Girl. I'm the chat
I'll chat with you before, and then I'll get too drunk that I need to rave. So that's just, we're same but different.
Yeah. I was just gonna say at my bachelorette party, like when we went to that one club, and I literally got overstimulated and was like, I'm done. I can't do this. Like,
oh yeah. So I'm the opposite. Like, you know, like some people get energy from that, some drain. It's a problem. I get so much energy, I just keep going. But and I have to be pulled away because it's like you won't sleep for 2 days. Yeah. And you will hate your life. And I'm like, it's true. I need to go
Loathe
home.
it.
I need someone to be like, Keltie, this is time to go. Yeah. Like, but I'm just so energized.
Yeah.
So I don't do coke.
Yeah. You're naturally on coke.
Literally, I would probably just be like chill. And I'd be like, whoa, this is what people feel like.
Exactly.
So, I'll hit mine.
Yeah,
mine's pretty basic, but just a friendly reminder. Happy hour. There's so many happy hours nowadays, especially so many people aren't spending money out. So I think a lot of restaurants are like offering deals. So you want go have dinner, have a couple drinks then cool off and just like try and time your drinking with the happy hour, with the deals or the fancy cocktails we love. But you want a high bell, get like a tequila soda, add some cran, lime juice, orange. Those are all free of charge. You might kind of just stick to the basic.
Also, if you happy hour, that means you can go home early, watch a nice show, and then go to sleep and wake up early.
Day drink. You know what I mean? Then you have your own beers, your own white
But
claws.
even like a lot of happy hours are till like 6 or 7. I feel like that's like go at 5 or go at 6 and you have an hour and just like load up or something and then you're good. Because who also likes to get home at 4 a.m. then you're like hungover the next day?
And how many times me and my girlfriends will go like Cactus Club, say the happy hour is like 5 to 8, so we're having dinner at 6 or 7. Happy hour is closing in 3 hours. We're like, how many rounds can we get right now? Mm-hmm. You don't have to drink it that very second. And then you just double order on happy hour and then chill out and drink until the next happy hour.
Yeah.
But respect the waiters because they have to make money.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we thought that we would kind of chat on a question that somebody submitted to us on how to deal, and this is kind of random. It's no longer recession, saving money, chitty chat, but how to deal with family members that are trying to tell you something about your body. And she didn't give a lot of context on like what they're trying to tell, but I could assume, I don't know, let's make a scenario and then...
Be as simple as, weight, muscle, whether it's like either they're pointing out something's changed or you've never changed and they think you should change, anything in that realm. Do you know what I think is just like criticizing? Because I'm sure if it's not overly nice, otherwise it really wouldn't be a question.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe if it's too nice, but that's a little weird. I think they would...
Or maybe there's a lot of people that like, their family members don't support them when they want to make a change and they think like, oh, that's annoying. You don't necessarily want to, like go to drink with me anymore.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to go to fast food all the time or whatever it is that you're making your lifestyle change, or you want to go to bed early and you don't want to go out anymore. I think it can be hard for them because they're like, well, we know you as this. But I also think you always have to view it as it's self-reflection on how they feel majority of the time about themselves. So it could be maybe they envy it or they wish that they had that motivation, or it's always an insecurity on their end that doesn't have to deal with you, because at the end of the day, why do they care what you're doing with your body?
Fully. I think mine, and easier said than done, but boundaries, especially the older generation, says a lot of things that are very inappropriate, and we're finding out in the sense like it was just like I've had family members just being like, you need to blank about your body, and just being like so off. I'm like, what where is that coming from? Like why I'm happy or whatever the case may be. And now looking back, is like I wish I would have set up my boundaries. I was like, no, I'm happy with my body, I'm healthy and I'm content, and just like full out comment and be like, why? Maybe the best thing is just genuinely ask them if they comment, be like, why are you saying that about my body? Like, why? I'm aware of my body. I see it every day. Like, why do you feel the need to say that? And then regardless of what they say, I would just simply put up a boundary, be like, I respect it. I know you love me, but it's my body and I'm fully aware of it and I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions about my body and I love you and our relationship, and in order to be a healthy relationship, I need you not to comment on my body.
Yeah.
And that should be a reality check, and it's unfortunate that like you have to be the person, not them, but that will hopefully change the narrative. And I just think it really comes to boundaries, and if people don't respect your boundaries, they shouldn't be in your life, in the sense of like, not to like cut off family members, but you just have to be fully aware of like, if someone isn't respecting your boundaries, you kind of have to emotionally tap out from them.
Yeah.
I'm like, anything they say doesn't matter.
I do think, though, I don't know, because she didn't give a lot of context, but imagine the one thing I'm like, I could, like, empathize with somebody at is, like, if they see you going down an unhealthy route. That's one time I'm like, okay, someone extremely near and dear to you, not like a random cousin that sees you at a freaking holiday party and makes a comment. That's horrible. But somebody that is near and dear and close to you and they care about your well-being. Yeah. And if there's something that's like red flag to them or off, but if it's simply about just like you wanting a different lifestyle change, or even if maybe you're referring to something like you want to change your body in a certain way or whatever it may be, like, that's when I think, okay, the boundary is like, at the end of the day, it's your body. It's your choice. And we were just talking, Keltie and I, about how, and this could not be relevant, but maybe it is like how even sometimes people make comment and think you're insecure if you want to change your body, like get a boob job, get a nose job, get a Botox, whatever, right? And it's like, no, like you don't even have the power to say that about me, because maybe I'm insecure enough that I just want to do this for myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want at the end of the day.
Like getting a tattoo. I think tattoo's a nice metaphor for it, because like no one's like, oh, you're so insecure, you got a tattoo, like what, people are like, no, I just kind of like the look.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like how we change our body can be that. Sometimes it's insecurity, and that comes with your own self journey and figuring that out. But I think like asking yourself, and as long as you're happy with it, it's going to improve your quality of life. Like, who cares what other people think?
Yeah.
And yeah, just unfortunately, like a lot of people don't realize what they say, how it affects other people.
Yeah.
And I think our generation and the younger generation are a bit better at it. And we're just a bit more versed in people outside of ourselves in our own little bubble of like how our words affect it. And unfortunately, the older generation doesn't always. And so they can say offhanded topics and not realize, like, I think for them, it was like, you had plastic surgery, you're insecure. Not really the case. Like, and sometimes it is, but yeah.
Also, why does that bother you?
Yeah.
That's always my thought, is like, why does it bother you?
How does it affect your life?
Always, yeah. Maybe throw them back with that. How is this affecting your life?
Yeah.
And then if they have a valid, I'm concerned about you because X, Y, and Z with the health, okay, you can talk about it and then end of discussion.
Yeah. And always like and I think there's a fair place of like not just anything someone says is like bad. Like I think there comes down to even like a negative comment, say, there's some truth into it sometimes. Sometimes it's truth, and you kind of take and you assess it and you're like, does this really matter? Am I going down an unhealthy path? Is this eye-opening? Was the person trying to say it because they genuinely care? Or was it more them projecting because they went down that route and they think you're going down that route and they were unhappy with themselves, so they assume you're unhappy with yourself, versus you're like, no, I'm like content. Like and realizing when people are projecting, and when people are projecting, we put up a boundary.
Yeah. Well said. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to close out this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to DM us if you have any questions that you would like answered. Can't always promise the best advice, but it's fun to, I don't know,
advice from your best girlies on the internet, your best friends, but not therapists at all.
Yeah. No.
So unsolicited advice, some would say.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, don't forget to check out our Instagram. We make fun little shorts, and also leave us a review.
Bye.